Welcome to Why We Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Hey, my brother, how you doing today?
Good, man. Good. What about yourself?
Oh man, I'm hanging in there. Been watching a little bit of that summer league, and now we about to turn our attention to the USA.
Okay. Right.
Olympic summer. Well, the summer games are coming up. We know that the Greece. We see Giannis is already. I believe they're in the driver's seat.
Eliminated Luca and his squad, so
Yeah. Luca's been playing a lot of games, folks. Go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe, and that notification so you can get all of our content. So, Ken, we're going to talk about USA basketball today. We know that Wednesday they open up against Canada, and we know what Canada did with the goal the last time. But now let me just give you the roster on here, and then you can talk a little bit about the strength and weaknesses of what you think the USA team might have. But you got a bio, you got
okay.
Booker, Curry, Davis, Durant, and we'll get into Kevin in a little bit. You got Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton. You got Drew Holiday, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, and that rounds it up with Jason Tatum. So what do
Okay.
you think about that? I'm gonna say this: there's a lot of veterans on there. I don't see a whole
18.
lot of I don't see a whole lot of youth on there, except for probably Ant-Man and Halliburton. But so what do you think, man, when you look at that roster?
Well, let me say this, Mike, is that they have their A team out there as far as, uh, compared to last year. Yeah, I think the only thing that worries me is that they don't have any length down low.
Mm,
I
mm.
think I think Davis is probably, what is he, 6'10", 7 foot?
Oh, yeah, he's 7 foot.
7 foot, okay, probably, and then probably Lyle is probably what, 6'10",
Yeah, I think he's six
6.
nine. I think.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right. I was
yeah,
giving
out
him,
of bio.
another inch.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So, uh, that's the only thing that worries me as far as
Mm.
players that that can hit the three, take it to the basket. Um, Solid. Got a lot. They have a lot of veterans, which I think is a good thing. It's just that, you know, defensive wise, they have Drew Holiday, which I think that's a good thing. I think they play Wednesday, right? They play Canada.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I mean, Mike. That's going to be a good test for them.
Mm-hmm.
SGA and their squad is going to bring a lot, and then that's going to tell you, you know, I won't say the condition, but as far as how how the USA is looking. Um, uh, we talked about it before we got on. Kevin Durant going to be out, what, 2-3 weeks with a strained calf.
Yeah, he got the calf. They haven't given any details on it, but it's not a good sign, man, especially if I'm a Phoenix Suns fan and I'm thinking about the regular season coming up and having to play in the Summer Olympics and already you got an ailment. Yeah,
Yeah,
that don't
that's troubling. But
yeah, that
but a good sign is Kawhi. He's practicing. You
yeah,
know,
for now. For now.
we'll hope that he comes through. I
Let's
just think
knock
that
on wood.
right, with him going out early in the playoffs, so that's a good sign for the USA. I think having LeBron and Curry, two solid veteran players that will
Mm-hmm.
give them some leadership. They've been there before, so I just think that seems like the USA is in the right direction. We haven't seen them play yet, but I just think that it's more of a look when Barkley, Jordan, Bird, and Magic got together. So it's somewhat similar to that. So
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, um, it's going to be a good test for them Wednesday against Canada. Canada was didn't they win the gold medal the last
Yeah.
time in the
Yeah.
Olympics? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, let me say this. this is the only this is the only thing that bothers me about this elder statesman team. And you're absolutely right. I mean, when Jordan was there and Barkley and Bird and Magic and all of that, but we were light years ahead of the international community. You see what I'm saying? What worries me most about this team, you already pointed out the number one thing. I just don't think they have enough height down low. I think that's going to cost them some problems, especially with rebounding, especially with the international game where you can slap the ball out. You know what I mean? So that bothers me, and also I don't, other than Drew, and Drew's D is suspect, man. I'm not one of these dudes that's on Drew Holiday. Ever since Drew got cooked by Jimmy Butler, his defense has not been the same. So I'm not one of these cats. I think he's a good defensive player. I don't think he's a great defensive player. I don't think anybody plays great defense. Very few players in the NBA. And what worries me is when you go to international ball, you're not going to be able just to outscore these cats. I mean, these cats have caught up, and we've seen that over the last decades how close these games have become. Even when Kobe was out there, you're going to have some dogs on defense, man. And I don't see I just don't see it with this roster, man. I actually see this as being the NBA elite, right? You got the
Hmm.
Bookers, you got the LeBrons, you got the Currys, this is almost like the last stand, Caesars. I don't know, last stand or something, because I don't think these players going to be around in 4 more years to compete. So it's almost like, okay, we're going to put them on here. I think you could have had a better, more mix of younger talent, guys that's going to get out there and get after it. I don't see that on here, man. And I'm not saying
So
that.
can I
Uh
just
huh.
stop you for a second? So
Yeah.
when you say
Hmm.
younger talent, tell me someone who you think should have been on there. Let's just say that was maybe a younger player.
Well, I think you needed some defense, man, like a Derrick Jones or somebody like I mean, you what we got on this team. Okay, first of all, Olympic team, in my opinion, is a team that is there to win the gold. It's not a team with your best superstars on it. I mean, you can
Okay.
have all your best superstars and still lose. You need glue guys. And Ken, when I look at this roster, man, Bam plays some D, but Bam is 6'9". Okay. Booker's not gonna play no D, dog. Okay, let's be honest. He's not known as a defensive player. Is Steph known as a defensive player? Anthony
No.
Davis will block some shots. How healthy is Anthony Davis going to be throughout the Olympic? We know Kev is already out. We don't consider Kev a defensive player. Anthony Efforts can lock down on D, but we still don't consider him to be a lockdown defender. Joel, who knows if he's healthy or not.
Yeah.
Tyrese, he's not a defensive person. Okay. Drew, okay, we already said Drew can play D. LeBron is not playing any D. Okay, let's just be honest, man. Kawhi can't. He's lost a
Yeah.
step. Okay, so
Okay.
Jason Tatum, yeah, he can play
Mhm.
some D, but he's still not known as a defensive stopper. So I'm saying that list, I just gave you all the players. So who on there other than Drew is going to be a person that's going to get after it defensively, and maybe they'll turn it up. Okay, maybe they're on the international stage. They say, hey, look, we're going to go ahead and turn this thing up. But Ken, my concern is always you're not going to just outshoot people. If you have a bad shooting night, which we have seen the USA team have in the
Oh,
past, how are you going to when these teams are so much better? That's all my concern.
well, let me say this: is that I'm gonna start at the defensive end. I think, I mean, on an individual basis, I'm agree with you. There's no, let's just say, shutdown player like, let's just say, like a Scottie Pippen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think, let's just say, on a team basis, if you want to look at it that way, maybe let's just say, they turn it up on the defensive level. Because one person is not going to do it by themselves. That's even on the offensive end. I think that Mike, some of these players are going to have to sacrifice. I'm just Wednesday. I want to see, you know, what player, how many minutes, and things like that. Because I mean, look at LeBron. I mean, I just don't see him playing a lot of minutes. I'll see him in stretches, but not playing. You know, let's just say the most minute on a team. Curry too.
Man,
They
I see the opposite,
uh,
bro. This
really.
is LeBron's last stand. He not he
Stop.
not he not going to the Olympics again, Ken. And that dude,
Oh no, he's
LeBron.
not.
One thing the King has showed us is he's got a huge ego,
Oh yeah,
huge
we
ego.
we get that.
Anybody that's gonna put your son in the league and do all this other kind of stuff. He's got a huge ego, man. And so that dude is not going to the Olympics, man. My question is this: who's the leader? Who's the leader of the USA team? Is it the King? Is it Bron? He the elder
I,
statesman?
Mike, I would say, in my judgment, or just in my opinion, I think Curry is the leader. That's just me looking at it.
He
He
just
he
don't
sets the
seem like
tone.
no leader though, man. I mean, he don't seem like he gonna
Mike,
be the cat that's gonna step up and rally folks and get folks focused and jump in folks' spaces if he needs to. And I just don't see that as being his personality. I may be wrong. It may be. I mean, he again. I think Curry is a great teammate. I think I think he's very encouraging. I just don't. I think Draymond has been more the leader on that team than he has been, and I don't
yeah,
think he's had
but
to
yeah,
play that
but
role.
but but yeah, I'll say vocal leader on that team. But as far as leading that team, that's Curry's team, no
Oh yeah,
doubt,
it's definitely.
hands
Oh yeah,
down.
oh yeah, it's
Right,
definitely
but
Curry's team.
some,
Oh yeah, but that
but
don't make him a
but
leader though.
sometimes,
I mean, he can be the head. You know what I mean. Like sometimes even in a company, the president ain't the. He ain't the one making things happen day to day. So I don't. Again, you may be correct.
but look,
Go ahead.
but I'll say sometimes you you have. I said this earlier. You have to sacrifice maybe your game. Maybe you're not going to
Hmm.
get as many shots as you would like to get. Maybe you need to, you know, give it off to someone who's, let's just say, cooking that day or that night or whatever the case may be. And I think that's a type of, let's just say, mindset Curry has. I mean, maybe let's just say his shot not falling. Hey, let me get some other people involved. To me, that's more leadership than just being vocal. That's just my assessment. And I grant you, yeah, Draymond vocally, oh yeah, you know, but other, but on the other end, I think Curry, just how he plays the game and his attitude towards being on the floor and getting other people involved, that's, to me, that's more leadership than what Draymond does. That's just my assessment.
Yeah, I mean, it's, as you say, there's multiple ways of, some people like to lead by example, others like to lead with their voice.
Right.
Um, I just don't see Curry having that type of. I may be wrong, man, but I just don't see him. When I look at that group, I see Bron in charge. Just gonna be honest. When I look at that group, I don't see Curry in charge, and I think Bron's ego is just too big. I may be wrong, but I think he's gonna play a lot of minutes. I think he's going to control the ball. He's gonna be the main distributor. I mean, and if we take a look at Canada, their first real test, and I'm just gonna name off some guys that I happen to know, and you probably know. McKeel Alexander Walker, defense. You
Okay.
got R.J. Barrett. He's going. He got some D to him. He's got a nice little
Okay.
game. Dylan Brooks, Crazy Brooks, defense. Lou Dort, offense and defense. And Dylan Brooks, for all intents and purposes, he did put his foot down the USA throat the last time they played. They
When he
got the
had
big
30
man.
the last game.
Yeah, yeah. You got the big man Zach Edey, the rook coming off. He might not be this, that, the other thing, but he a big body in the middle, bro. And it's a lot of
Yeah.
rebounds. That's a lot of block shots. There's a lot of and you don't. This is not a series. See, that's
No,
another scary
that's
thing.
one
This
game.
is one game. And then you already named him, SGA. He gonna go to work. You got Kelly Olynyk. He's 7 feet. You got Zach Edey 7'4". You got Olynyk 7 feet. You got Dwight Paul 7'9" and big. So you know Canada's got a balance. You might look at them and say, well, they don't have as much talent. I'm gonna give you that, but they got some offense and they got some mad defense. And so I just feel like
Mm,
there was a time when the USA where we could just grab all our best players and say we just gonna go out there because we just gonna hit 150 on you. Okay, we know you can't keep up. And plus, in the past, you had lockdown dudes. You had Jordan, you had, Pippen, you had guys like that in their prime. You had Kobe, you had Carmelo. We had guys that could get after it. Now, with the way the game has changed and the 3-pointer is so prevalent in the game, man, I would have liked to have seen Ken. And I know we want to pick the best and the most exciting and who wants to watch and all of that. But man, they needed some height, like you said, and they
oh,
needed some D. Okay, they need some D. And Ken, this is not a fast team. When you look at that USA, Halliburton can push it. Ant probably can get up and down,
yeah.
but Ant even plays more at a slower
Tatum,
pace. Tatum
Tatum.
Tatum can get up and down, but they're not running gun. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
Like
no.
these are not guys that, I know LeBron still likes to get out and run this, that, and the other thing on the offensive end, right? But you got to run on the defensive end. And so my whole thing is they're not going to be the fastest team, and they're not going to be the tallest team. They're going to be the most athletic team, the most talented
let,
team, but that don't always win in the end. So I'm looking.
let,
I think it's going to be some pretty tough games, bro.
I'll say this, Mike. I think we talked about leaders and things like that. I think t- for whatever reason, I think Tatum and Ant Man are going to get most of the minutes. I'll say the higher volume minutes. I think that I'll say this: Ant has come on to be, let's call him a superstar right now in the NBA. I think he has something to prove. You know, to keep that, let's just say, going up to, let's just say being the top, number one guy in the NBA or whatever, if you want to call it that. I think Tatum, I think he has something to prove also, not getting, let's just say, finals MVP, not getting the Eastern Conference MVP. So, a lot for him to shoot for too. Um, I just think that the thing that the for the USA to win this gold is that they're going to have, like I said, Mike, they're going to have to give up something as far as part of their game for to win this. It just can't be, let's just say, ISO and we shoot a three. It's got to be more of a team ball than anything else. And I think that's, if they don't do that, they have no chance of winning this thing.
No, I agree with you, and I believe it was Germany that won, wasn't it? And not Canada. One of
Um,
our listeners can verify that for us. But they're gonna have to play Germany and you know, uh they're no joke either. So I mean they're
you know,
and
they got a nice
again,
squad.
they do. And again, I agree with you. How much are these guys willing to sacrifice and come in and just play team basketball? And so I would just like to have seen them get a little bit more height, a little bit more defensive minded. Uh, a lot of these guys haven't played international ball, and it's different.
Oh,
The
it's totally
physicality
different.
is different. You see what I'm saying? And the spacing is different. And so, it's just going to be interesting to see, how USA basketball, because this is about who has the best league. This is what this is. It's not about who. See, this is what people understand about the when it comes to basketball. It's not about who has the best talent, because in the NBA, you have the MVPs have been international players. So you can't even question what league has the best talent in it. But it's about what league is better. And the United States League is better than any league around the world. And as our listeners, if you don't know, there are multiple professional leagues around the world. Multiple professional leagues around the world. And so basketball is truly a global game. And so I just don't, this is going to be a good test, Ken, to see how far they have caught up and whether or not we looking eye to eye. And as we see more international, think about France, Rudy Gobert, you got Wemby, you got the dude, he just playing right now, but you got the French dudes right now that are in, the top of the draft.
Yeah, drafting, right.
So when you think about years to come, what is the French team gonna look like compared to the American team when Wemby's winning MVPs? You see what I'm saying? Defensive players of the year and all of this sort of thing. The tide is turning, man. And I just feel like fundamentally we're not as prepared to compete as we were in the past. And this is going to be a great test to see where we are at. Are we still on the mountaintop, Ken, or are we sharing that space with somebody?
Oh, we sharing it, Mike. I think that I'll say this. I had this conversation with someone. I see how the game is trending. We, like you mentioned it earlier, the three is so important in the game right now. And what it does is it opens up the court for, a lot of players, and the players who are taking advantage are, to me, is let's just say, the European players. Most of them are catch and shoot. So, a lot of times it's better to, shoot that three uncontested. So they're playing well. Gives them opportunity, let's just say, drive to the basket, a better opportunity. Now you can't, like, hand checking is going away. You got, illegal defense. So, the thing about it is that, yeah, they are catching up. It is that does that make the game better? I think so.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I mean, when you are superior in one area and you start to lose that superiority, it's kind of hard to deal with. It's like it's like when you getting older. You know what I'm saying? You go out there and you remember, Ken, how we used to, go out there and race and get our bikes and take off, and we did all that. But as you start to get a little older,
can't do that.
You can't do that no more, man. And it feels like, USA basketball, no matter what we do, the world is catching up, man. And these guys, I still say a lot of these overseas wannabe basketball players, they're learning the right way. And they're coming in more fundamentally sound.
So,
and I mean, they're producing. Look at what they're producing, man. They're producing Luka. They're producing Wemby, Paolo. I mean, they're producing not just good basketball players, Hall of Famers. And they say Tony Parker has that team over there where he's been working with these guys, man. So you have an NBA legend that's sharing NBA knowledge and how the full scope of the game operates, man. And so you have these guys coming in, they're prepared. They're ready to play. They're not, man, look at Jokic. I mean, look at the Embiid. I know he became an American citizen, but Embiid ain't from here. And so when you look at what is happening, man, the scales are tilted, bro. Internationally. I mean, we always gonna have the best league, because guess what? Every basketball player, I don't care where you're at, you can be in Zimbabwe, bouncing the basketball. Your dream is to get to the
Get into the
NBA.
NBA
You
and
know what
make
I
that
mean?
money.
That's it, man. It is the most. It is the best league. It's the most classiest league. It has, man, when you look at an NBA game, man, and everything that goes on it, the broadcast for an NBA game is amazing. I mean, all the money and the advertisement and the fan base, it is an amazing game. So I'm never going to say that there's any league better than the NBA. Association is the standard, right? Everybody's
Oh
trying to
yeah.
get to that. However, the talent around the world is catching up, Ken. And pretty
So let me
soon,
ask you this then, Mike.
mm-hmm. Go ahead.
So on Wednesday when the U.S. plays Canada, who do you pick to win?
I don't know. See, that's a
Come on.
that's a big. I don't know, Ken, because I don't know if they're gonna come out. It might take them a couple of games before they figured it out. Like a lot of these guys been playing together for a long time on the international teams. They're not new
Oh
to one
yeah.
another. They're not these superstars that are coming together like we do it here. They played in the world games, and we're always switching the teams up. They really don't switch up, right? Giannis is always going to go back to Greece and play, right? He's always going to be playing with certain guys. And I think that when you don't have that familiarity early on, we might see the USA struggle. If Canada beat them, I would not be shocked.
Oh
I
no,
would
I wouldn't
not be
either.
shocked. I would not be shocked. Um, you know, it, it's so you can't coming off the NBA year we had. It's so unpredictable, man, because these guys they don't play all the time. So I don't, if you say to
Yeah.
me, okay, if you had Kobe on there, T
Oh,
Mac, AI, when you got guys, you know what they gonna do. Like there is no question they going out there to eat. You got the Jordans of the world, you David Robinsons they going out to the Shacks. They gonna eat. But these guys can't. I really can't tell you. I don't know who's gonna have a good game. I don't know who's gonna be consistent. They struggled the last time. If it hadn't been for Drew coming over late, let's keep it real now, Ken. Coming over late,
oh,
providing some defense and some offense, they probably wouldn't have took that goal, bruh. So what I'm saying is, um, I don't know what USA team we're gonna get. Right, looking at that
okay.
roster, I cannot say to you, "Oh yeah, they're gonna dominate." Now they might dominate if they come and do what you said, unselfish. Here's a designated leader. You know what? We just gonna get our minutes or whatever we want to get. Then I'm cool with that. But you got a dude on that team. Let's be honest, Ken. He want to be the GOAT, right? He's doing things to add to that resume, and I don't think all of those things that he is doing is beneficial to the team. That's all I'm saying. Not beneficial to LA, not beneficial to I'm just saying I don't know whether or not LeBron's gonna come in with that type of thing, not saying this is my last one. I need to dominate and I need to be the oldest guy that led the USA team in scoring. Okay.
Uh, I I'll make the pick for you, Mike. Um, I think the USA is going to come in with a different attitude as far as the Olympics is concerned. I think they know that the world is looking at as far as the NBA is concerned, as far as USA basketball is concerned. Also, I think that there were some, let's just say, players who said, "Hey, we can't go down like we did the last time as far as FIBA is concerned." So I think a guy like Curry, you wouldn't expect him to play. What is Curry? What 32, 33,
Yeah,
30,
around that. Mm-hmm.
somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't
Early
expect
30s.
Curry to play them. Yeah, a guy like Durant, he played in the last Olympics. He was, as far as I'm concerned, the team's MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't expect him to play in this year's Olympics either. A guy
No.
like LeBron, um, you wouldn't expect him to play. So I
No.
think you got some players who probably been, I'm gonna use the word coach into playing in this Olympics.
Hmm.
So I just think they just have a different mindset just to go
I think
out
isn't
there
this Curry's first Olympics? I think this is Steph's first Olympics.
like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I believe I heard it is his first Olympics.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I just think they have a different mindset as far as going into this, and um, whatever is necessary for them to win. I think that's their attitude. So we'll see. I think that I'm going to I'm gonna go out on a limb. You know, I'll say that USA will win on Wednesday against SGA and his boys. So
Well, let me see here. Um, yeah, this is his first Olympics.
okay, all right,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
that's
So,
interesting.
again, I wouldn't be shocked if they went out there and beat the brakes off of them. I wouldn't be shocked if they are going to play on both ends of the floor. But I'm one of these guys, Ken. I don't believe it till I see it. I mean, I just, I know the potential is there, but until you go out on the court and perform it, um, I got to go with what you've been. And what you've been is I see an offensive juggernaut on the USA team. And that's good if you can outscore them, get up and down. But I just think the rest of the world plays better D. They're more disciplined, and I just think a shootout is you might get some games like that. If you play some teams in Africa or something like that, you probably beat them by 60 or something like that. But when you go up against the Germanys, the Australias, the Canada, when you go against teams like that, even Greece, I put Greece is even on the rise. When you go against teams like that, you are going to have to play. You have to play basketball, and you're going to have to play disciplined basketball, and it's not going to be easy. So we'll see. Can
Okay,
say that that USA got this in the bag. And
yeah.
so, folks, we're gonna believe that, and we're gonna watch Wednesday and see what's going on. But Ken, you got the last word, my brother.
Mike, let me say this about USA basketball. I just think I won't say I won't say desperate, but they have to make themselves look good in this um, year because,
Yeah.
like you said, they everybody else is catching up, and I think they want to show the dominance of the USA basketball. So we'll see what
Well,
happens.
I'm looking forward to some dominance. That's what I'm looking forward to, for sure, brother. Great show, great
All right.
show. So the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity in our everyday life. This is why they play the game.